Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to Seven Cloud. I'm really happy that we could chill out today for another ASMR video. Now, I absolutely love music. I take it with me everywhere I go. I'm always listening to it, whether I'm driving around or sitting doing absolutely nothing. I always find myself playing music. I think that it really speaks to my soul, and I just don't know what life would be like without music. And I think a lot of you can probably relate. Now, everybody has their music tastes. Same with me. I actually kind of really love depressing music. So a lot of my favorite types of music would have to be dream pop, along with indie rock, indie pop, and the occasional pop music. I used to like pop music a lot more when I was younger, but as I've gotten older, I have more so related to indie music. So, in tonight's video, I'm just going to be showing you my collection of vinyls, or the albums that I have that I play on my record player. And I thought that that would just make for a kind of relaxing video. So, I'm gonna start with one that is probably not recognized by the majority of people. This is Wellness by Last Dinosaurs. They are an indie rock band. A lot of their music is very guitar heavy, with very nice drums. And for me, all the lyrics usually are very relatable. Whatever season of life I'm going through, I usually can still relate to their lyrics. And this album in particular is probably my most listened to album of all time. Now, the songs on the album are Take Your Time, Evie, Karma, Whirl, Wellness, Apollo, Always, Purest, Stream, After Sex. Buy cigarettes after sex. They got really creative with the name on this one, because it's their literal band name, but I'll pose for the thumbnail here as well. I really like this album because it scratches every itch of mine when it comes to music. It's very nostalgic sounding. A lot of the songs are slower and more sad, which is like my favorite type of music. I guess I'm a depressing emo boy, but I love sad music. And a lot of these lyrics are just very relatable, and they make me reminisce a lot, but they're just very calming to listen to, and it kind of goes with ASMR. There's a lot of times I've listened to this album when I'm trying to fall asleep, because it's very calming, but the songs on this album are as follows. There is K. Each Time You Fall in Love. Sunsets, which was my most listened to song of all time. Apocalypse. Flash. Sweet. Opera House. Truly. John Wayne. Young and Dumb. Let's take a look at how it looks. Now, this is just basically a piece of paper. But on the back, it has all the lyrics of every song, which is really cool. And the actual vinyl is just a black disc. But very cool. Next on the list we have This Old Dog by Mac DeMarco. This album is just beautiful. It's very indie, so it has that indie kind of sound to it. But this one for me is also one of those calmer, more nostalgic pieces. A lot of these songs are from a time that was very special in my life. So it reminds me of being a teenager. Kind of, late night drives, having fun with friends, good times. And also kind of gives me that nighttime feeling. This is a good album to throw on if you're driving at night and you like guitar, kind of acoustic-y, dreamy lyrics. It's kind of about like a lover who's gone away and memories you won't forget, kind of thing. Very, very nice. The inside of it is pretty. It's in a little slip of paper. And it's just a black disc. The next album is one that I actually used to really hate. Everybody was so obsessed with. Stick Season by Noah Kahan. And I really didn't like this album for a lot of reasons. I had some bad memories with it, with a time that I really didn't like. And this album the songs. So they're not very one note. The songs have a lot of different kind of switching around that I appreciate. And they're all very lyrically interesting. There's a very good mix of like upbeat mixed with slower songs. Of course, I like the slower songs. Strawberry Wine is probably my favorite on the album because it's very slow and dreamy, but you've got a lot in here and a lot of variety, which is probably why a lot of people like it. Now the songs on this album are Northern Attitude, Stick Season, All My Love, She Calls Me Back, Come Over, New Perspective, Everywhere, Everything, Orange Juice, Strawberry Wine. He likes his drinks, I suppose. Growing Sideways, Halloween, Homesick, Still, and The View Between the Villages. So, a good bit of songs here. You are going to be eating good if you listen to this. Now I realize I didn't read the list of songs on This Old Dog because they weren't on the actual vinyl, but you can go and look for yourself. I'm going to show you the vinyl for Stick Season. It's got like a map. It kind of looks like Lord of the Rings. It fits the folky vibe a lot. This album is very folky. Kind of more country folk. And here's the vinyl. Very cool. And this one's one of those more premium ones, so you have like the cool interior as well. So you get your $50 worth, or however much this album broke the bank. This next album is about to frick up my lighting. It's just white. You can't really tell, but there's a pattern on it that's kind of hidden in the white, but this album is Continuum by John Mayer. Now, John Mayer for me was one of those artists I never really listened to. I had obviously heard of Gravity and Slow Dancing in a Burning Room, Georgia, or Why Georgia, Waiting on the World to Change, his very popular songs. But I never really listened to him all that much until kind of recently. I went to a John Mayer concert with my older brother, and we had some really, really good memories. And so now when I listen to John Mayer, it kind of reminds me of that, and it makes me happy. I went through a very big John Mayer spree this last year. He was my top artist, and I listened to pretty much every single one of his songs. His music is very interesting because a lot of the songs I don't like at first, but then they get stuck in my head, and I just keep listening to them. And a lot of the songs are very, very relatable. The lyrics are very good. I think that John Mayer is very gifted lyrically. Some songs are kind of iffy, but for the most part, a lot of his songs have very good lyrics. And he has very good variety. He does a lot of different things. His guitar sounds very good. He sings very album is one that I've listened to a lot of the music on, so I just picked it up. And this one, if you didn't know a lot about John Mayer, he's very egotistical, so you got him on the cover. At least in this time he was. I don't argue that he's a great person, but I like the music. And that's the album. The songs are as follows. Waiting on the world to change. I don't trust myself with loving you. Belief. Gravity. The heart of life. Vultures. Stop this train. Slow dancing in a burning room. Bold as love. Dreaming with a broken heart. In repair. I'm gonna find another you. And say, last but not least, we have Yumeno Garden by Last Dinosaurs. They were the band that did Wellness, the first album that I showed. This was their third album, and it is the best album cover art ever. I don't think I've ever seen better cover art. I love this cover. It's just a work of art, really. I love it. This album all the way through is amazing. This one is very upbeat indie rock, so you get a lot of guitar, very nice drums, and the lyrics again are just very relatable. You know, it's all about that kind of nostalgic sound. And this one has some slow ones as well, but this one's majority pretty fast. If you haven't heard Last Dinosaurs, I would highly suggest you go and listen to them because I love their music. All their albums are very good. So this is another album that I have from them. It's good music all the way through, and the cover art is beautiful. And then the inside has more beautiful art as well, with all the lyrics. But that's not it. The album cover, or the vinyl, is actually very beautiful as well. So, very nice. And the songs on this album are as follows. 11, Dominoes, Base God,